Welcome back to the Relax and Ghost channel here on YouTube. As always, your host with the most, Ghost. Today we're going to be talking about CM Punk. It seems like it's finally coming to be a reality with this CM Punk stuff. It's been 7 long years since this man has last appeared, on major television, or whatever you want to call it, performed in a match. Although it is rumored he has actually had a few matches since then, but we won't really get into all that. It's being reported that CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are heading to AEW, All Elite Wrestling. And this might be a big turning point for All Elite Wrestling. CM Punk has been one of the most desirable free agents in all of wrestling for the past 7 years. It's been, year after year after year with rumors of him appearing here and showing up here, and he's signed a deal here, and then he's showing up here now. I've seen them all. I've seen them all, and it honestly seems like it's finally happening. This morning it was reported, or late last night, whenever this video may go up, but it's being reported that it's a done deal, and CM Punk will appear on television every week. Just for a time reference, this is Friday about 4 p.m. Eastern. I seen a headline about an hour ago. CM Punk, I just never thought he would go back to WWE, and I don't know why. Him showing up on the backstage show, it just came across as goofy and kind of, I don't know, it just seemed, he was really pushing their buttons. It felt like you could tell he didn't really want to be doing that. And honestly, I can't really blame him when, he really wanted to, he earned his stripes in the ring as one of the greatest of all time, and, define it as you will. CM Punk is, one of the top level athletes to do, what they do inside a ring. This opens up all kinds of doorways here with CM Punk signing in AEW. Part of me always wanted to see him go back in WWE, but again, another part of me just said, there's no way he's gonna kind of re-sign there. I almost thought it was a done deal last year at All Out, and it seems like that might be the way to go this year and kind of debut in Chicago at All Out. And, let's see what he has. It's been 7 years. Who knows if he's been in a ring much, but, he's gonna have to see what's in that gas tank. And he's gonna have to see, what he really has left. Whether he just signs a 1-year deal, a multi-year deal, that's still stuff that has yet to be released. But it's heavily rumored right now that he has inked a deal with AEW. And I think Tony Khan even said in the beginning, CM Punk was really that one guy he always kind of wanted. I mean, Omega and CM Punk, I think that's, probably one of the biggest dream matches. Daniel Bryan and Kenny Omega, And these guys are friends, going back probably a couple of decades. A lot of these guys grew up in the ROH system and, slowly graduated out to spread their wings into promotions like New Japan and, fought around Europe and places like that and in Mexico. I'm not sure if Daniel Bryan and Omega have had many matches or any, but, it's also being reported that Daniel Bryan is close to netting a deal with All Elite Wrestling. And this is coming off the heels of a fantastic Money in the Bank pay-per-view that CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are heading to AEW the night after John Cena returns. This is a big money ploy right here. And if you read up on articles and you listen to podcasts with Daniel Bryan over the last year or so, you could just hear in his voice that something was missing. He wasn't really that happy in WWE. In the last part of this run here, he said, I'm going out in the main event in WrestleMania, and something's off, something's not right. The guy has dreams. He has other aspirations. He doesn't really feel he fits the WWE system, and you can't really blame the guy. Daniel Bryan's accomplished pretty much everything, from being, in a fantastic tag teams to world heavyweight champions, all that good stuff. I felt like they kind of dropped the ball with Daniel Bryan, and you could say that for any part of his run, his stuff with the GM and his initial reigns as champion back in 2013, the stuff with Cena, cashing in on him with Randy Orton. They always really treated him like that B-plus player, and I always thought that was wrong. They really could have built that promotion around him and Punk, and it could have been those two guys on top of Raw and SmackDown, and they never really went that way. It was supposed to be Daniel Bryan facing Lesnar at that year's SummerSlam, but unfortunately he got injured. We couldn't really you could never really kind of check that stuff out. That stuff really just kind of happens randomly. Injuries, they happen in mysterious ways. And a Punk or a Bryan Lesnar match, I think that would have been fantastic. Eventually we got it, but back in 2014, Daniel Bryan was the hottest thing ever. And you're talking about Lesnar just ending Undertaker's streak. Whether the rumors have any merit to them or not, I think the CM Punk one is the most interesting. This is getting people talking, and it's going to get people talking in a big way. And, it's going to be interesting to see what these contracts look like as well. But, if this really is the beginning of a new chapter for CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, then I'm all for it. I think these guys could do a big help to AEW and All Elite Wrestling. I think they could be, a big part of the backbone of AEW. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan have, close to 40 years experience between the two of them, and, several big time events, and, put aside all the championship garbage, and, two of the best promos, arguably two of the best in-ring of all time. And, when you put a guy like CM Punk with a guy like Darby Allin and a guy like Daniel Bryan with a young man like Jungle Boy, I mean, this is where you really get those those gears turning with those young men, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin. You really get those gears turning and, figuring out, putting fantastic matches together and, putting these young lions to school. So I think this is a fantastic move. If Tony Khan pulled this off, this is just incredible. Um, Comment down below if what do you guys think of this? Is this actually happening? Is the CM Punk actually returning? I honestly, I'm kind of shocked, and like I said, I honestly thought it would never happen. And I was on the fence for several years, and then honestly, I thought it would never happen. But if this is something that's happening, I'm all for it. I always wanted him to come back, but I never thought he would come back. It's a weird subject, just leave the guy alone. I see the rumors all the time, CM Punk's returning, CM Punk's returning. And, like Daniel Bryan, I always wanted the best for him. It sucks he never really, you know, got what the fans were expecting out of him. I could have seen him winning the Royal Rumble. I could have seen him, as a long-term champion. The WWE unfortunately never saw it like that. I always wanted the best for Daniel Bryan, and we'll see what happens when he's in AEW. Is this going to be a full-time thing? Is this going to be a split between Japan and the States, where he goes on tour with Japan for parts of the year and he's back with AEW for parts of the year? This is going to be interesting. Like I said, let's wait and see till these contracts start coming out and rumors of that stuff, and then you know start putting your dream match list together, guys, because this is going to be a fun ride, especially if Punk and Bryan are in the close. They've been in close contact now for these heavy rumors to be announced. So let me know. As always, we'll talk to you later. Peace.